Test 1 2 3 test 3 2 1. Welcome to the live stream. Okay, just currently testing the sound and we'll start soon. Welcome everybody. Here we are, yet for another live stream. Thank you for everyone who's about to join. As always, this is going to be an open space for debate for everyone to feel free to express their opinions, and hopefully we have an interesting conversation about tech. Welcome everybody, we'll be starting soon. I'm currently just running some tests on the sound and hopefully everything is working just fine. Okay, I just noticed that probably the music was too loud and I'll repeat everything I just said. I was just welcoming everybody to the live stream. Here we are at a Sunday doing a live stream, obviously by pure sheer will, because these conversations are always very interesting, and let's have here an open debate, an open space. As always, everyone is free to comment down below your comments and your opinions. This is an open space specifically for debate. If you're watching this live, please comment on the chat any opinion you have. I'm very curious, as always, to know your thoughts and to discuss. And if you're watching this as a pre-recorded video, feel free to write on the comments down below. I will definitely read it and answer it. But yes, as you guys have already seen by the title, today we'll be reading two articles. One about Gemini being in the future able to take action inside of apps, which is huge, and another one about Microsoft trying to force people to buy new PCs, which is not as impressive or surprising or much of an advancement in opposition to Gemini's article. But it's gonna be an interesting debate. We'll share some opinions. I want to hear from you guys, and hopefully we can reach some interesting conclusions. We'll be starting soon, so thank you for joining. I'll be back in a bit. Currently just playing around a little with the equipment, trying to test if everything is okay, the image, the sound quality, the visualizer of my sound, the articles we're about to read, just doing some preliminary testing, and we'll be starting soon. If you've just joined the live stream now, welcome to the live stream. This is yet another one of our usual live streams in which we just chill around and hang out with each other while debating on important tech topics. Thank you for joining us. Do feel free to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more conversations like this, and welcome if this is your first live stream joining us. Let's hopefully have here an open space for debate and for interesting discussions, and hopefully we get to achieve some interesting considerations and conclusions in the end. We'll be starting in a bit, so grab some snacks, maybe, relax and enjoy. Oh, and maybe let's just put the music, the waiting music, a little bit louder. Okay guys, so here we are yet again for a brand new live stream. I am most definitely not gonna repeat everything I've just said yet, so welcome to the live stream. And if you're wondering what we're doing here because you've just arrived now, please just rewind the live stream and you'll be sure what we are about to do. Or maybe just sit back and enjoy, and you'll figure out what's happening. So today we have two articles. One of them is about Google prepping Gemini to take action inside apps, and the other one is about Microsoft trying to convince users to upgrade in the most infamous ways possible. So this is not a novelty. Microsoft has done it in the past, and they're doing it again, maybe worse than ever. But that's what we're here to do, to debate, hopefully to have an open, interesting discussion about their practices and reach some conclusions whether their practices are acceptable or not. But let's start with the first article, obviously, which is Google prepping Gemini to take action inside apps. Now, this is something very interesting and very useful if it ends up being true, because things like these, giving AI assistants capability to navigate through third-party interfaces. This has been tried in the past, and it was either a hoax, or it didn't work as intended, or only worked about a few days or weeks until the third-party manufacturer changes the third-party app interface, and then the AI just begins to struggle to find where are the functions that allow the AI to achieve the task that you're asking for. So it's something very, I don't want to say muddy waters, but it's something hard to achieve, and hopefully we're looking this time at a real attempt to achieve this. But let's go over the article, and please guys do let me know in the comments what you think about this. Have you heard about this before, as AI assistants going inside apps to, let's say if we're talking about Uber Eats, order the exact food you want from the exact restaurant you want and for the exact time you're expecting it? So this would make everything much easier, right? Instead of you going into your main homepage, in your homepage screen, searching for your app, opening it, searching for the name of the restaurant you want the food from, finding it, searching in your restaurant's menu for the specific food you want, and selecting it, and then going to the checkout, picking the card you want to pay from, and then paying, and then setting the time you want it to arrive. Instead of being you yourself with your fingers doing all these inputs, you would just tell a voice command, let's say to Gemini, like Gemini, I want food from restaurant A to arrive at place B, accompanied with the juice D and something dessert C, and Gemini would just pick up on everything you asked for and literally execute it in, who knows, seconds. And it would be done. But for AI to be able to do these kind of robot-like movements, it needs to be able to take action inside of apps, and this is what it seems to be claimed as about to be prepared to become a reality in the future. But let's read the article. I'm curious. So, the AI assistant is getting ready for its agentic era. Let's see. An article by Alison Johnson, a reviewer with 10 years of experience writing about consumer tech. She has a special interest in mobile photography and telecom. Previously, she worked at DPR Review. Okay, let's see. Google released the first Android 16 developer preview earlier this week. and keen-eyed observers are already uncovering interesting tidbits, including one that hints about a much more useful future for Google's AI assistant. In Android Authority, Masal Rahman writes about a mysterious new API in Android 16 called App Functions, which appears to give Gemini Assistant agentic-like abilities to take action in apps. It sounds awfully similar to the upgraded app intents Apple supports in iOS 18, and it's exactly the kind of thing that could make AI assistants much more useful than they are in their current state. So far everything looks bright. It seems like this feature is being worked on. It was spot in a suspicious API, a very suggestive name apparently, from what I understood from the story, and apparently Apple is also working on something very similar, just with a different name. So far the future looks good. It seems like most of the major brands are working towards achieving this ability of AI being an app agent, being able to manage things and take tasks and run errands that are digital, basically. I mean, if we were talking about physical errands, that is gonna take a little more years, of course, for robots to take physical things and do them. But I mean, maybe for that we would need anthropomorphic robots loaded with AI, but it's way further ahead in the future, I believe. But so far, if we can get AI to run digital errands, it would be perfect. But for that, they need to be able to access apps, and that's what seems to be worked on. And I'm excited to see how cool and how well it will function. I do suspect that it will need to be updated frequently, in the sense that if an app changes its interface, then the AI needs to pick up on the changes and understand where things are in this new interface. However, to some extent, we don't know, like, if there isn't just a way of AI learning to understand and to adapt into new interfaces in such a way that it would be able to manage each and every interface in the world, because it has just been loaded with, who knows, 20,000 interfaces and has learned everything about them, and it just adapts. That's the most likely possible future, and I'm all here for it. It sounds awesome. But let's continue reading the article. A page on Google's developer site describes an app function as a specific piece of functionality that an app offers to the system. These functionalities can be integrated in various system features. Really clears things up, but Rahman points to a specific example buried in the documentation that sheds some more light. It details how an app developer could use app functions to expose certain actions to the system. In this case, ordering food. Oh good, that was the example we were imagining just a little while ago. But let's continue. With this function available to Gemini, you might be able to place an order with your neighborhood Thai restaurant without having to open the DoorDash app. Kinda neat. Apple's working on a similar approach to a smarter assistant. One of its promises for the smarter Siri we'll supposedly get in iOS 18 is that it will be able to take actions in apps for you. By updating its app intents framework, Apple has created a way for developers to expose order food type functions to Siri. According to rumors, we probably won't see that update until spring of 2025 though. Okay, so everything is looking perfect, everything is looking really good. However, it's still kind of far in the future. Only next year, by the spring, apparently, at least the Apple's version of it. And it seems like they are doing a thing that I appreciate a lot, which is to integrate this feature and launch it firstly for things like food apps. That's awesome. I think food apps, taxi calling apps, cab apps, Uber, Bolt, I think these should be the first ones to have this integration, because they're the ones that people use daily and will have the most impact in people's lives. I think that if you can get this into a phone, you can even, I mean, if a company chooses to go down this path, but because it can be controversial, but if you can pair this feature to a brand new phone, you can most certainly convince people to buy this new phone, even though this is a software feature, and controversially software features should be released for all new versions, and because all of them can support. So if you're just locking it down to a brand new device for no reason, despite being compatible with all the previous devices, that's controversial. That's gonna draw a lot of criticism. However, if we make this hypothetical exercise of a company using that as a feature for a brand new phone, that phone will sell like hotcake. I do believe that, But for you guys at home, please let me know in the chat what you guys think about it. Do you think this is something that a company would do, or is it too bad to do it? And if they were to do it, wouldn't this phone sell like a lot? If it's a phone that you can just talk to it and food appears, a cab comes to pick you up, it's amazing. It's the future, and it's near, guys. This future is near. But let's continue on the article. Doing things for you was kind of the whole promise of smart assistants from the beginning, but that hasn't started materializing until very recently. I'm gonna stop here because this is very, very true. When Google Assistant launched, when Siri launched, we were promised a bunch of these things, and a bunch of people believed it was about to be possible. It turned out it didn't. Siri couldn't do half of these things that people had imagined at the time. Google Assistant's the same thing, despite being a little more competent. I mean, way more competent. Maybe the Siri just incompetent at all by comparison, but you guys know what I mean. None of them were able to match these promises people were imagining of you having an assistant on your pocket that you could ask any little thing about the world and get an answer. Fast forward a few years, 5 to 10 years, now we have that ability like for real. AI is in your pocket, and AI, you can ask it anything about any topic in the universe and we will explain it to you. It's not only you're gonna pick up a website or pick up something, an article that someone wrote. No, it has read thousands of articles that are on the internet, has access to them, and it's gonna provide you with a quick, easy to read, human-like summary that you can actually understand, even if you were a 5-year-old. And that is amazing. I find that amazing. I think that's the beauty of it. It uncomplicates so much things, and that's beautiful. That's fast. Life is short, and if we can save as much time as we can, that's amazing. That's why I find AI so exciting and so amazing. But again, there's always going to be haters for new technology, so and everything is ambiguous to a certain extent. Things are relative. So I want to hear you guys' opinions. Are you guys as excited about these capabilities of AI as I am? Or maybe there are other capabilities of AI, I don't know, maybe the picture producing or video AI producing that you feel that are more exciting than what are the ones that I'm talking about. Please do let me know in the comments your opinions. But let's continue with the article. Gemini can access information in certain apps with your permission, but currently it's most limited to searching things like email and Google Maps. And Siri's biggest update in iOS 18 so far added a ChatGPT extension, so you can ask more complicated questions, but it still falls short on taking action. Now, both platforms appear to be laying the groundwork for better assistance, and 2025 could be a very interesting year for AI on smartphones. I think it will. I think it will be a very interesting year, and this article makes me excited about the future. So I think it's a very well written article. It raises up a lot of interesting questions and dreams that people have had for years, and presents them as possibilities in the near future, which is very exciting. I'm curious to see what people are commenting about this. Hopefully people are excited about it. So let's see the comments. We have 12 comments to this article. Let's see what people are saying about this. Is loading. Let's see what people have to say about this. Let's see. So we have here Asaf Beer saying, I can totally understand how this would be great for the Google and the users, but why would an app developer want to allow the system to bypass his app? That would remove his brand presence and would make him a dumb pipe. I guess eventually it will be unbeatable, and instead of apps we'll have background OEM service providers, but I'm pretty sure that apps won't go down without a fight. I think I get Asaf's fear. He's probably a developer and fears that this would make the interactions with the app itself drop. Of course, developers rely on the app they've built, and they are constantly monitoring people's usage of their app to fix bugs and for other things, and even to watch publicity. If you have an app that you've produced and you monetize by displaying publicity from ads, from brands, if people are not visiting your app, then people are not watching the ads that you get paid for them to appear on your app. I understand his concern, but I mean, it's like he said, eventually it will be unbeatable, I think, and maybe app developers will find other ways of getting monetized and getting paid. But let's see what other people are saying about this. Let's see. So we have here Scooby359 saying, so like Alexa skills limited interactions through predefined hooks. Wonder if it will be simpler to use. Order me a pizza. Which app would you like to use? Just eat Uber Eats food. Which takeaway do you want from? Goodfellas. What toppings do you like? Ham and apple. What size do you want? 9 inch. What crutch do you want for delivery or collection? Yes, I think so. Here, Scooby359 is kind of envisioning a type of interaction in which you would have this capability of just asking AI for food, and then the food would just get delivered to your door. All of this without you opening the food delivery app, finding the restaurant you want, finding the menu you want, and basically taking 5 to 10 minutes ordering everything. But I would say that it probably it wouldn't need to be such a long conversation, but rather you would just say in one sentence everything you wanted, like the app you wanted to use, the takeaway you wanted it from, the topping you wanted, the size you wanted, all of these just in one sentence, and maybe AI would just pick it up, and then it would be just one prompt. It would be way easier, I would say. But let's see what else other people are saying about this brand exciting future. We have here JoseGG saying, you mentioned that Apple supports something similar in iOS 18, but next you say that Apple is working to release it supposedly in mid 2025. Let's see, Nate Heaven has answered it's part of iOS 18, which was announced in June. However, it will come as accepted in the spring. I believe it gives about time to update it. Yes, this is just usual time problems. Things take time to get produced, but yes, the future is looking very exciting. For AI has an assistant doing virtual things for you, without you having to lose time messing with either Uber or Bolt, or you just ask for it and AI goes inside the app that you want to use, orders the thing for you, you only just wait. And maybe watch the notification of the food arriving or the cab arriving. All of this without lifting a finger to open that app. So it's looking good, companies are working towards this and I'm happy about that. Let's see the next article. And guys, please do let me know in the comments what do you think of this so far. Do you think this is a bright future? Do you think AI will make things easier for us, or will it just make us way lazier? Please do let me know your comments on the chat or on the comment section down below if you're watching this later as a pre-recorded video. So here we are on the second article of this live stream. So this one is about Microsoft trying to convince Windows 10 users to buy a new PC with full screen prompts. So this is a practice that Microsoft has used for quite some time now. Not this one in specific, but the full screen component of it. And I have it on my PC as well, because I'm still running Windows 10, it's true, and I do get quite frequently full screen ads, basically, just prompting me to download. It's not even update, they even give me the option to just download it and maybe you pick later when to update it. But as you know, Windows 11 is a big update to download gigabytes, and I of course refuse it. And moreover, I have no intention of installing for now, at least, because I'm using my laptop for work and I can't have it failing. But not that Windows 11 would failing, but updates has always are like a not a dangerous procedure, but you need cautious doing it, and most likely it's better for you to do an how do you say, a backup, and that's why. So it takes time. But so Microsoft is doing its shenanigans again and trying to trick people too. But this time, what's the problem and why is it so much more controversial? It seems like they're prompting people to buy a new PC altogether. Really, to buy a new PC altogether. Well, let's look into it. Let's read the article. Windows 10 is going to end support next year, and Microsoft is now trying to convince people to buy Copilot Plus PCs. Okay, let's see. Microsoft has been trying to convince Windows 10 users to upgrade to Windows 11 for months now, ahead of the end support date for Windows 10 in October 25. Earlier this year, Microsoft started using full-screen prompts to warn Windows 10 users about the support cutoff, and now it's using similar prompts to try and tempt people to buy a new Windows 11 PC instead. Over the weekend, some Windows 10 users have noticed these new full-screen prompts, and Microsoft is using them to suggest you can do more with the new Windows 11 PC, or level up to the new Copilot Plus PCs, to get the ultimate Windows 11 experience. Like the prompts earlier this year, the read more link goes to a promotional site that includes links to new Windows 11 PCs. So apparently Windows is just saying that your computer is obsolete, although it might not even be obsolete, and trying to entice you to buy a Windows PC. and preferably a Windows 11 PC integrated with Copilot, and probably with a new keyboard button that has the Copilot symbol. And just to clarify, if anyone is not aware, Copilot is just their AI assistant based on ChatGPT. But let's go on. Microsoft's full screen prompt still doesn't mention that Windows 10 users can continue to securely use the operating system beyond October 15. Exactly. This is the enticing part. It's almost like they're tricking you. Not openly, but you're not being informed that this is not like a deadline. It's just the end of the support. Your computer won't stop operating, apps won't stop working. It's not about that. And it's not that you won't receive security updates, but they don't explain to you that. They just kind of try to put some fear inside you so that you just think, okay, no, I want my things to continue working, so yes, I'm gonna I'm gonna follow orders and go buy a new computer. Even though it's not just orders, it's just an ad. But they don't tell you it's an ad. Let's see. Microsoft is offering extended security updates to consumers for the first time ever, but Windows 10 users will have to pay $30 extra for a year of extra updates. Commercial customers will be able to purchase up to 3 years of additional updates. Okay, this is interesting, but I will say just something just for context, which is the fact that just for you guys to understand how far in time after the date that they set for the end of updates can actually go. Windows XP, despite being long done, has received updates still very far, and Windows 7 the same. So like the end date of support really doesn't mean end of security updates. If there is a flaw that compromises systems, an update will be released for people, and you'll get to fix that that security issue. And this happens mainly, I would say, not because of consumers owning that laptop, but rather state agencies and government machines. They usually don't operate on the top of the line last released system. It's usually the oldest ones, and of course they need to have the security accounted for. So that's why even after the support date has long been done, updates still get released for a lot of versions of Windows. But moving on, Microsoft has used similar prompts like this in the past, with the company aggressively pushing Windows 10 upgrades for Windows 7 and 8.1 users. Yes, I remember this. I will share a little anecdote. True story. Back in the days, this was about what? 2015, 2016? I'm not sure, but maybe 2018. I'm not sure, but it was about the time Windows 10 had been released, but it wasn't that much of a new thing anymore. It had been like about 1 to 2 years after being released, maybe 1 year. So it was already a stable thing that people wanted to get into. And so we had this computer which was in Windows 8.1. It had been previously on Windows 7, but some years ago we had upgraded it to Windows 8.1. And so what we did, Windows 10 Microsoft had been giving away Windows 10 upgrades for Windows 7 and 8 users for a long time now. But it had a deadline, and the deadline had expired. I think it was June or something. But we wanted to upgrade our system regardless for free. Of course, we know now that Windows 10 would still remain free for many years to come. But at the time, no one knew that. But we wanted to do the upgrade. And we still managed to do it despite the free deadline being done. How so? Because Microsoft had another program, a way for you to get the update in such a way that you would still get it for free. It's not worth getting into details, but basically Microsoft wanted so much people to skip from 7 and 8.1 to 10 that they created 1,000 ways and reasons in which you could just claim the update and get it for free. And we used one of those loopholes, you could say. It's not a loophole because it is legal, everything 100% legal, and we got the update. And bear in mind that at this time Microsoft was even, this is a surprising part, they were even offering Windows 10 updates for pirated versions of 7 and 8.1, which was interesting at the time. For the first time Microsoft was offering updates even for the pirated versions. Modified pirated versions were receiving the upgrade. This is how badly Microsoft wanted people to push to upgrade to Windows 10. This is how aggressively they wanted everyone to push everyone to Windows 10. So they are capable of amazing things. So we never know when they want to push people to go towards something. They can, and more certainly will use all the tools they have available to achieve their goal. So at the end of the day, if we look into perspective, like these full screen banners and ads prompting you to buy a new computer aren't really surprising based on how far they have gone in the past. But yes, this was just a little anecdote. Let's continue with the article. And please, guys at home, do let me know your opinions on the comment section down below. What you guys think so far? Do you agree that Microsoft's practices sometimes are excessive, or do you believe they're just trying to... I mean, at the end of the day, they are indeed trying to capitalize on their fan base, you could say. But let's continue with the article. Windows 11 is only supported on CPUs released from 2018 onwards, so these latest prompts likely only mention upgrading your PC instead of trying to upgrade to Windows 11 because millions of existing devices simply can't officially upgrade. Okay, yes, that's true, and there is a way to go around these limitations again, and this is long known, just saying, not promoting anything, but continuing, Windows 11 adoption is still lagging behind Windows 10, although it briefly became the most popular OS for PC gaming on Steam earlier this summer. Windows has also complicated its messaging around Windows 10 end of support by continuing to add new features to the OS, after originally saying it was done with major Windows 10 updates in 2013. So Microsoft then took an unusual step of reopening its beta program for Windows 10 users in June to test new features for an OS that Microsoft wants people to stop using next year. Okay, so that's the problem. It seems like Microsoft is not even sure if they want to end Windows 10 altogether. I mean, I do like this version. I'm not saying Windows 11 is not better appearance-wise, but Windows 10 is timeless, I'd say. After the major flop that Windows 8.1 was, Windows 10 was a breath of fresh air, because people loved Windows 7, and 8 was completely different, and people hated it. And then 10 breached the gap, and it seemed like a little mixed of 8.1 and 7, but then they just removed all the 8.1 features altogether. So 10 was basically 7, but looking better. So people loved it. But yes, let's see. Honestly, from my personal point of view, I think this is just yet another one of Microsoft's shenanigans, trying to trick people, not trick, but maybe entice them into making the move for a new version of Windows, which has been always a complicated thing to do, which is why they try so hard. To this day, there's still people using Windows 7. I myself, I don't use Windows 7, but I love it and have things saved from it. So it has always been a battle Microsoft has been fighting for a long time, making people move, making them update. And I don't know what's worse, if it's people loving their systems so much because it's so good and sticking to them, or if it's them trying to force people into change. It's a complicated issue, but that's my opinion. Please do, guys, let me know in your thoughts in the chat or in the comment section down below if you're watching this as a pre-recorded video. Do you agree with what I've said so far? But I would like to see what people are saying in the comments. Let's see, what are people thinking about this? Do they agree that Microsoft's practices are just showing up here again? Do they think it's fair? And you guys at home as well, let me know. Let's see what people are saying in the comments. Let's see, Roop Baxter is saying, "We'll never buy anything MES touts. Many decades of being lied by them, and now they're screwing over Windows users. Yet another lie. MS needs to be made a rigorously regulated too big to fail company in the Windows division at very least." Okay, so Roop Baxter is annoyed. He's angry that they're trying to lie to their users. Let's see what Bob Jarvis is saying. "Microsoft has my official permission to go take a running jump at themselves. Besides, once Windows 10 support is dropped, I'm installing Linux. On all PCs, I'm not already running Farewell for..." Okay, Bob Jarvis is a Linux fan. There is this rivalry between Linux users and Windows. So, I mean, I've tried Linux in the past. Never has my main running machine that I use for work. But I would say that the problem with Linux is the complexity to do some tasks and the lack of app support. And bear in mind, I know of the existence of Wine and all this software trickery that allows you to install Windows apps on Linux. I'm aware of all that, But still, it's not not only it's not native. I mean, no, I do not want to be like scientifically not accurate, but you know what I mean. It's not like those a simple way to run Windows apps, and it makes it a little harder than it should. So that's the problem with Linux so far. And I do also am aware that there are distros that are very, very intuitive and have very appealing designs. I know that, but it still has a user of Windows. I feel like I've always felt like it's still not the same. But continuing, Boffice is saying, how about allow us to upgrade to Windows 11 on these PCs, or else keep supporting Windows 10 forever like we initially said you would. Okay, I like this. I like this perspective of Office because as I was telling this story earlier about me upgrading for Windows 10 from 7 and 8.1, at that time we were told that Windows 10 would be the last version of Windows ever. Windows 10 was pitched as the last Windows, the one that would remain for years, God knows 20, 30 years, and you would just receive features by updates. You didn't need to change Windows versions, everything would just be dropping. And for years Windows 10 has worked like this. We just receive new features by updates. But now eventually they just came up and said, no, we are releasing Windows 11. We don't want people to remain on that version forever anymore. So I do understand Buffy's feelings. It's a very interesting perspective. I like it. It's kind of put things in perspective from what they've said in the past and what they're doing now. It doesn't correspond, right? But excuse me, I've closed the comments. What else people are saying? Yada is loading. Okay, let's see. Where are we? Okay, let's see. Frank Oceans 11 is saying, I got my first full screen upgrade prompt 2 days ago. Couldn't upgrade to Windows 11 due to hardware restrictions. This is how I discovered an app called Rufus. Oh, I'm familiar with this. It allows you to create a bootable USB that bypasses the hardware requirements, creates a local account, and retains the activation code. 2 hours of work. I have 8 years of the lifetime of my PC. Not too shabby. Yes, this is part of what I was talking about earlier. There are ways to bypass these requirements that Microsoft puts for you to be able to upgrade your system, which means if Microsoft tells you no, your PC can't support Windows 11, go buy a new one, and you think, no, I got a hell of a PC with a bunch of processing power in a big battery, it must certainly support Windows 11. Why are not they allowing me to run it? If you're thinking like this, I can tell you, yes, your PC probably can run it, and there are ways to bypass their blocking of you along to running. And yes, I mean, I can do a tutorial in video on this, now that I'm thinking actually about it. Maybe we'll think about this. Maybe we should produce a video for the channel about how to upgrade Windows bypassing all the requirements. But yes, it does usually involve the app called Rufus, which I've extensively used for many years. Not that Rufus in itself is a hacking on anything like that at all, no. Rufus is just a simple USB app maker, completely safe. I've used it for years, no trouble ever, nothing related to bad things or illegal or unintended or evil, nothing like that. Rufus simply just creates a bootable USB drive. It's just a USB drive that behaves like basically a CD, just to put things in simple terms, an installation CD. But I mean, we as a channel, we can think about creating a tutorial about this. I like this idea. Maybe it will be useful for people first to create a tutorial on how to upgrade. And of course, as you see, Frank Oceans 11 says 2 hours of work. Yes, usually these things are procedures that take a kind of a lot of time, but I don't think they are complex enough not to be achievable by the average computer user. I do not think so, especially with apps like Rufus, which makes it very intuitive. I'll think about this. Please, you guys at home, please do let me know if you would like to see a tutorial like this of how to update Windows 11 and bypassing any problems that you find over the way, being it Microsoft claiming your PC being not compatible with the system, or other problems that you might arise during the installation of the Windows, how to bypass all that and get your computer all ready. Please do let me know in the comments if you guys would like to see a tutorial like this. But continuing, let's see. Okay, we have not much more opinions here. I think we've seen the main reasons of it. But so we are about to reach the end of this live stream, guys, but I would like to leave just this final appeal. So if you guys would like to see a tutorial on how to upgrade Windows versions, let's say from 10 to 11, while still bypassing all the limitations that might appear, let's see if it says that your system is not compatible, or if it says that you don't have enough space, how to get all that fixed and get it upgraded, please do let me know in the comment section or below in the chat. But yes, we are finishing a live stream, so I hope the debate was interesting. I hope we had here a good hangout with an interesting conversation. We've reached some interesting conclusions about AI. The future seems bright. I hope you guys were entertained by this little chat. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe. If you'd like to see more of these, join us for more live streams on tech topics. Thank you everyone for watching. So this is the end of the live stream. You guys already know I'm Techinthehouse, and I'll see you next time. I'll be sending you guys to the wait screen, then the space screen, and then the live stream will collapse. Thank you for joining. Have a nice Sunday. Techinthehouse out. Prepare the countdown. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, on collision.